Hey, how you doing? Happy holidays. I just wanted to talk real quick about hope, and the power of hope for influencing people that we care about. First and foremost, before we try to help others, we have to understand that we can't be a well that is dry. So first, we have to drink and sup at the living well, and then we have water to give to others. My channel is really predominantly about influencing young adults. I do meet teenagers, use those, um, I guess, the perspective that I do speak on to bring impact to any age group. But for a quote unquote rebellious teenager, somebody that you have a tough relationship with or tough interactions with, and they're under your roof, or you interact with them in a mentor. I believe in the Lord, and this young person in front of me is going down the wrong path, and quite normal because children often become rebellious, and teenagers, often do not feel like discussing their feelings with quote unquote adults. I will submit to you humbly that if a child, no matter what age group, if they believe that you are trustworthy, they will speak to you and they will tell you things, tell you many things. And there will be a difference in what they tell you and a difference in what they tell. If they trust you and they know that you are reliable and dependable, and yes, you do provide food for their body and a roof over their head, so that should be enough. What's going on is that, unfortunately, the child or the teenager, quote unquote young adult, is not mature enough to understand and really appreciate the food and the clothes and the light bills being paid, and not being uh, where that tree is, if you can see it under it, uh, permanently. They expect to be taken care of. And of course, part of the maturity process is standing gratefulness. But we have to model that, and we have to teach them that. How often are we complaining about things, on our workplace, or do we have a perspective of hope that whatever's going on, everything's going to be okay. And my perspective is that I live for God, and it's my honor to just walk with the Lord on the job. Or are we just pissed? Are we just angry? And does it almost look like we hate our life? Hope begins to teach us and remind us that there's something more and there's something greater than what we are experiencing, because God is greater than us and greater than every situation we go through. We're not alone, and he is here for us. And so it's important that if we are going to influence, that we are walking in hope. I could say it in another term that you would readily believe, or I'm sorry, understand, faith. But faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And we talk about faith in comparison just against the spiritual. I talk to you about hope. What is hopelessness and what is a hopeful mentality and perspective for why would a man go on childhood if everything is bad around him? It's because there's something good that's also around him that's unseen. It's unnatural, but it is supernatural. Because now you're existing, and you're walking, you're operating in a plane that is supernatural. So you are charging your mind and your brain to keep a perspective of a supernatural but he does not transform. And so thankfully, because we're not alone and we know God, and God is powerful and he loves us, his power operates in us. But we have to be living that faith filled life if we want to help a young person correctly and astutely and to adapt to God's circumstances, that he's greater and that he's with them versus what their report card says or what their friends say or what their local community says about them.
Because somebody probably is fed up with them, is quote unquote full of themselves and thinks they know everything and quick with the mouth and quick to be disrespectful. So if you are trying to help, understand that that's playing in their mind as well, because they do feed off of our energy. They are also feeding off of foreign energies, their friends, their schools. We are not the only influencer, and I'm not saying that, but because we are in their lives, we have the ability to impact. I'm sure you've seen them get angry, get even more mad, get even more upset while interacting with us. We could also assist them with bringing peace and bringing calm. And so, faith that to bring peace, bring calm. We get into a car accident, we may have been through it a couple times. We may lose our job, or we may leave a job. We may have been through that a couple times. We may get in, and we may get out of relationships. We may have been through that a couple times. We may have even been in a marriage. We may have ended a marriage, and we've been through that a couple times. There's good things and bad things that could have happened. We may have gotten a raise. We may have gotten promotion. It comes with responsibility. We've been through it a couple times. We've seen how God will really help us financially and also help us mentally to just push through certain things. And we just want the young people, if they somehow something is going to work out for good to them that believe God. So understanding faith for a young person is going to come from a point of observation. They're going to observe us, and teenagers are very critical of what is right and what is wrong. But what I'm saying is that do your best to live in faith so you can speak in faith when they must be two shoes. Will struggle because there will be challenges because they don't know enough. They're not at that maturity level yet. So there are going to be difficulties in all households, but it's about how you manage it. Do you come with faith, or do you come with strong criticism? Do you come with a spirit of perfection where you want them to do everything correctly, and it's almost a nagging mentality? Do you know how to appreciate when things are doing well and no one's been suspended and no one's in detention and it looks like they're studying, and you haven't got that phone call? And can you appreciate those breaks of understand that because this is a spiritual war and they have not yet been trained up yet and may not have fully accepted the gospel, that they are going to make many mistakes even while hearing everything that is good, even with us saying everything that is right, especially because Satan is speaking constantly. And he always wants to point out our flaws as the adult. So as you walk away and you feel like you set that person straight, you know, they may just have another reason not to ever talk to you or not to ever talk to us. And you can do the right thing and hold people accountable, and they still have that perspective, because Satan is going to speak when we do the best we could have done and we don't do the best we could have done. Scripture says who winneth souls is wise. So everything we're doing now is for them being built up and established as a Christian who go through things, who can lay hold of faith, that they live and operate in a world that is beyond what their eyes tell them and what their senses tell them, and that God is in control, and that it is wise for them to walk with Him and to build their own relationship. That is very important. But if the enemy will speak, regardless of what we say and regardless of what we do, what is the point of speaking anyway? Because in the beginning, God spoke, and the heavens and the earth were created. We are created in the image of God. When we speak, things are created and manifested in heaven. That's part of our spiritual understanding, that we have that done with you. He even has a great destiny for you, and there's still a great future for you. So they're going to struggle with that because number one, they're not sure if you believe it. They're not sure if you believe it when you say it, that you love them, or that God is real, or that God is real in you. Disown them. God is not angry at them, and God is not done with them or separate from them. The people can hear the gospel and still believe that they must do something, that a lamb must be slain. I have to do something. Or they are being slain. I deserve this. I am what I'm doing, so I must be bad. They keep telling me that. Keep getting in trouble. It seems like this is the only thing I can do. It's the only thing I know how to do. It's natural. It's because they're demonic spirits invest a lot of time and influence the emotions and the thought process of young people. So make sure you're spending time influencing the mindsets and the thought processes of young people. Satan is not going to stop speaking to you or to them. If you are wise enough to understand his voices and his devices, because you know he speaks against faith and against hope and tries to bring doubts and get you to act in anger and in rage because you are helpless and powerless. But you are not called to be all powerful. Only God pray. That's why we can't handle everything because we're moving in the flesh. The Spirit of God must come over us. And then He will direct us. And He will lead us to all knowledge and understanding. And He will give us revelation. And He will show us which way to go. The teaching is back to Jesus, back to prayer, back to the Spirit of the living God, and backing off things and stop dealing with things. Stop dealing with things. Stop trusting yourself to deal with things. Go to God first. Let this be your only priority. Let this be your only to do manual. Go to God first. Go to God first. So that the young people can learn from our lives. Go to God first. Go to God first. In Jesus' name, may you be blessed and encouraged because God has not forgotten about you, regardless of what situation, and He will deliver you. For many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord shall deliver them out of them all.